Well, joining us today, we have Maggie Connor, Director of Marketing with the Greater Des Moines Botanical Garden, as they get ready for this year's Annual Symposium. So this is a celebration of the beauty and benefits of wild landscapes, which is kind of an overall theme that you guys want to get into this year, which is wonderful. But why should we be excited about this when we think about the natural plants of our state of Iowa?
Sure, absolutely. So the Annual Symposium is our signature education event of the season, and it kicks off our annual theme of, you mentioned, wild landscapes. So what we're going to be learning about at Annual Symposium is what everybody can do in their yards, on their patios with pots and plants to support the natural ecology of Iowa. We're going to talk a lot about prairies. Iowa was once 80% prairie, and what we can do to use native plants to really support soil health and migratory pollinator species and all the things that we love to talk about at the Botanical Garden.
And I imagine it's opening our eyes to maybe plants we didn't even realize existed to be a part of our own backyard.
Yeah, absolutely. So the speakers actually that we've invited, David Newsom is from California. He's the founder of the Wild Yards Project. So we're really going to get that big picture. He's going to be there to get everybody really excited about the wild yards and what people can do to really re-wild their landscapes.
Okay.
And then we're going to take things a little more local with Dan Schutte, who's owner of Shoreview Natives, to kind of really talk about that Midwest landscape and what we can do and all the different types of plants we can incorporate, both in a sort of that traditional wild type landscape and also just curated in those gardens that are already pretty well established. Yeah, exactly. And then finally, we're going to talk to a panel of home gardeners from right here in our community in Des Moines who have already sort of embarked on their rewilding adventure to kind of hear about what their planning processes were and give tips and tricks to people who are going to be at the symposium and ready to start on their journey too.
I'm hearing a couple things. I love like wildflowers and things like that. I'm hearing a possibility of it being a little bit easier when I'm gardening because I don't have the greatest green thumb, but also maybe I don't have to mow as much.
Yeah, exactly. That's
if I'm going more wild.
100%. I have a garden at home that is just like, it's back, and I trim it up a couple of times here and there and we're good to go. A lot of these native plants reestablish themselves year over year. If they're not a perennial, a lot of times they're what we call reseeding annuals, and so they pop their seeds out and distribute them. They've evolved to do that in the wild, and so they really don't need that extra care and touch. And a lot of these plants also are what we call water-wise. So you're not out there with the hose every other day watering the plant to make sure that these plants remain vibrant.
And reconnecting to how it was, as you mentioned, over 80% of what Iowa was way back in the day.
Absolutely.
We want to remind everybody, even more exciting events still continuing on. I love this. Music in the Garden. It kicks off again tonight.
Yes, absolutely. So Music in the Garden, we've got 4 Thursdays left.
Okay.
At the end of September is when the series will finish, 6 to 9 p.m. Trellis Cafe is open. They have food out on the veranda, grilled items, and bring your own chairs, bring a friend, enjoy the outdoor gardens. They are still absolutely popping gorgeous. And sounds like the weather is supposed to be great. The band is very exciting, high energy. And I always encourage people, take those shoes off. Dance
look
in the lawn.
I love it.
Dance in that lawn. Get your toes in the grass.
I love it. And Perenderos Latin Combo, they are the band tonight, and they are fabulous. All right, so we have lots still going on with the garden, not only tonight with Music in the Garden, but if people want to get tickets to the symposium, where do they need to go for all those details?
They need to go to dmbotanicalgarden.com/symposium. Tickets are $95 for a general admission. Members do get a discount at $80, and we do have a student price this year for $45. They get a ticket to the symposium, full access to the garden, lunch during symposium, and a discount to our fall bulb market that's happening that same day.
Nice.
On October 15th.
Okay. Yeah. Lots of exciting things to do at the
absolutely.
garden. Maggie, thank you for joining us
Jackie.
today.
Appreciate it.